This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello and welcome to Six Figure Dog Business on PetLifeRadio.com. I'm your host, Ty Brown of TyTheDogGuy.com, and this is the show where we help you start or grow your dog-related business to a healthy six-figure per year or more income. And today, I'm going to be talking about how to create a money page on your website that can do selling for you that could potentially sell 6 or 7 figures worth of your products and your services. I'm going to be telling you exactly how to set up that money page, exactly how I've done it. My money page has done millions of dollars at this point, and so I'm going to share with you exactly how I've done it and show you how you can do it too. So stay with us. I'll be right back.
Tired of wasting money on giant bags, boxes, and jugs of litter that don't last? Switch to World's Best Cat Litter, the only litter that lets you use less and get more. World's Best Cat Litter uses the concentrated power of corn to deliver outstanding odor control and easy cleanup. It's lightweight, 99% dust-free, and pet, people, and planet friendly. It's even flushable. Make the switch to World's Best Cat Litter and save $2. Visit www.saveonworldsbest.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
All right, we're back. And so today on the show, I'm excited because we're going to talk about money pages. I don't know if others call them money pages. That's just what I call them. But when I'm talking about money pages, what I'm talking about is a page on your website where people ideally are converted from interested into lead, or maybe even not interested. They're just converted from somebody that's there into a lead, or somebody that's there maybe into a sale, whatever the case might be. But it's a page that has the information, the critical and crucial information that converts this person onto the next stage of your sales cycle, however your sales cycle works. And I know we got a lot of people listening to this show. You know, we've got dog trainers, pet sitters, dog walkers, veterinarians, groomers, etc. So your money page could be to a sale of buying something. Your money page could be to a lead. Most of the people listening to this, their money page is going to lead to a lead. You know, somebody that is raising their hand saying, yep, I'm interested in what you have. So that's what a money page is. A website could have a few. So for example, maybe you're a dog trainer. You might have a money page for puppies, and you might have a money page for adult dogs. Or maybe you do a few things. You know, maybe you've got a money page for adult dogs and protection dogs and service dogs, you know, depending on what kind of business you're running. So there could be more than one money page, but like I said, that's essentially what a money page is. What I try to recommend to folks is that if you're going to put together a money page, it's always best to have a signature program. So I've been getting bigger into these the past year or two and really trying to help people put together and have this signature program that is theirs, that's unique, that has a benefit to it, that people hear, you know, see the name of the program and like, yeah, I think I could want something like that. So first things first, ideally you have a signature program. It could be offered a few different ways. So for example, our signature program is called Transform Your Dog in 60 Days. And so Transform Your Dog in 60 Days, we offer it in a boot camp, we offer it in private sessions, we offer it in a light program. But we have one program and that's it. That's all we sell. Even for puppies, we don't really have a puppy money page because what we do is we bring them in as puppies and we shuffle them off into our Transform Your Dog in 60 Days program. So we've got that money page. We've got service dogs that we do. And so I've got a money page for service dogs. But yeah, so ideally you've got that signature program that's yours, that's unique to you, that has unique benefits, et cetera, et cetera. Now, before I really get into what I would recommend you do on a money page, I want to talk about what I mostly see and what you do not want to do. Most money pages, and I put that in, obviously, if you're listening to the podcast, you're not watching this, but I put that in quotes. Most, quote unquote, money pages aren't very good money pages. They're just simply like an informational page. There's no persuasion on them. There's nothing that takes that person to the next level. So, if I was to do a Google search of dog trainers in Indianapolis or dog trainers in Olympia, Washington, or dog wherever, and I go on dog trainers' websites and I go on the page that talks about their programs, in other words, where their money comes from, more often than not, what am I going to see? It might say something like, our program is called Fantastic Fido, and it's 5 sessions, and your dog's going to learn to sit, down, heel, come, stay, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to come with the training equipment that you need. When you read that, like, is there anything that stands out that's like, yes, I have to have that? No, nobody with a problem is reading that. And again, as you're listening to this, you might be saying like, yeah, I've read pages just like that. I know exactly what you're talking about. Maybe there's a little bit more information. Sometimes there's a little bit less. But you know that there is a million dog trainer pages out there that have basically that formula of like, hey, here's the name of our program. It's really great. Here's what comes in it. It's 5 weeks, and you do this, and then you do this. And it comes with this training program, and your dog's going to learn how to do this. There's no persuasion. There's no emotion. They're not even speaking to the owner of the dog. They're not even saying, hey, owner, what's your problem? And, I'm uniquely qualified to fix your problem. And if this is your problem, I can do that. They're just saying, like, look, here's what we have. Like, it's nothing more than just like a bigger business card. That's it. And there's a reason why business cards don't sell anything is because people see a business card and they toss them. People get to that website and they toss it. They go on to the next website. The only way that people buy from something like that is maybe they were referred there, or maybe they're just desperate. They're calling every dog trainer, but nobody gets on that website and is moved to make a decision based on seeing something like that, based on seeing like, oh, wow, my dog's going to sit, lie down, heel. Because, as dog trainers and dog professionals, half of the owners think their dogs do that anyways. We know their dogs don't, but they think their dogs do that anyway. So they're going to be calling you like, all right, well, my dog already does half of this stuff. And so it's like, there a discount, blah, blah, blah. So that's what not to do. You don't want a money page that's like, hey, here's my name and here's what I do. That's not a money page. A money page is designed with specific emotional triggers to ideally move people along in a persuasive process to where they end up saying, I think I might want that. So be thinking about that. Be thinking about if you, as you're writing your money page, be thinking about if you were like a stranger to this industry reading that, like, and put yourself in the mind of your like ideal customer that's like, oh, my dog is so aggressive, or oh, my puppy is so out of control, or whatever. And you get on this page and like, oh, my dog is so aggressive. In 6 weeks, your dog will sit, lie down. Does that speak to you? It doesn't. So here's how to do it otherwise. And I'm going to give a handful of steps. I haven't numbered them, so I don't know how many there are, but I do have a bunch of steps here. So if you're the type that likes to write notes, this would be the time to start taking those. So the first thing that you need is a headline. And the headline, you want it to speak to their problem, or you want it to speak to a benefit that you're able to provide. Most headlines that I would see on a page would be like dog training, dog walking, dog grooming. Like, that's the headline. I mean, it identifies what you do. But again, we're trying to create an emotional response from people, right? Because people buy when emotional buttons are ticked. And so if you write dog training, there's nothing emotional about that. But what if you're a dog walker and your headline is, are you tired of coming home to a dog with too much energy who ate your couch? Now, some people would be very scared about making a headline so specific because they're like, well, what if the guy reading it, the dog didn't eat his couch? Well, it's still going to resonate because it's familiar enough and it speaks to a problem well enough to where it's going to make sense. It's going to make sense to somebody whose dog isn't destroying their couch, but they come home and the dog has too much energy. Or maybe that's not your ideal client. Maybe your ideal client is the fur mommy or the fur daddy that's like, oh, my poor baby, I'm stuck in a cubicle all day, but I want my dog to be bounding through the meadows chasing butterflies. And so, your headline could be something like, are you tired of wondering what's going on at home with your dog during the day while you're at work? Subheadline, is your dog bored, lonely, and wondering where you are? I'm kind of, obviously doing that in a joking type format here because I'm kind of, playing up to that. But the reality is, who is the person that you're trying to sell to? And what is their problem? Your headline should reflect that. A headline could be simple: overcome aggression in 6 weeks, learn how. And then, of course, we've got the body. It could be, ensure that your puppy doesn't grow up to be as awful as your neighbor's dog. Learn more, or something like that. And so these are things that your ideal clients can relate to. These are challenges that they have. Maybe it doesn't 100% fit them, but it's relatable enough and it speaks enough to a benefit, speaks enough to a problem that it immediately identifies who should be there. If you're like looking for off-leash obedience and you go to a page that says dog training, like, is this the dog training for me? I don't know. But, if you go to a page and that's what you do, that's your client, is off-leash people, are you tired of having to put your dog on a leash when you go on a hike? Something as simple as that is going to tell that person, is going to signal that person that they're in the right place. So, number one, make sure that you've got an amazing headline that really speaks to a benefit, really speaks to a problem, etc. Now, as you start writing your copy, I'm talking about copywriting here. And when I say copywriting, I'm not referring to, the legal process of making sure nobody can copy it. When I say copywriting, COPYWRITING, it would have been embarrassing if I'd spelled that, misspelled that. But copywriting is the content, the words that go on your page. And so the beginning of your copy, you've put this headline out here that identifies a problem, that speaks to a benefit, etc., something along those lines. Now, the first thing that you need to do is stir that problem. And that could be one paragraph, that could be 2 or 3 paragraphs, but the first kind of part needs to, the headline told them they're in the right place, the first couple, 1 or 2 or 3 paragraphs, needs to confirm to them that they're in the right place and that you know what they're talking about. I did a podcast or a video or something on this the other day, so this could be repetitive for some folks who already heard that. But the other day I talked about when you can describe somebody's pain better than they can describe their own pain, they will immediately trust you. So, I always use the example, let's say you go to the doctor and you're like, "Doctor, I was playing volleyball last night and I served the ball and I heard this weird sound and now my arm really, really hurts." And that's the information you give him. Now, let's say the doc's poking and prodding and whatever. And he says, "Well, let me guess. If you kind of move your arm like this, it really hurts, right? But if you put it out this direction, it feels okay." And you're like, "Yeah, that's totally true. And let me guess, you had to sleep on your left side last night." "Yes, that's totally, yes. And let me guess, it's kind of like this dull pain. It's not like a sharp pain. It's like this dull, achy pain." "You're exactly right, doctor." If the doctor can do that for you, you immediately trust him and you immediately know that what he's saying is true and that he's legit, because he just described your pain better than you were able to describe it. And if you're in this industry, you should be able to, because as dog trainers, people come to us saying things like, "I need him to mind," right? Or "I need him to behave." And that's so broad when their dog is having fear, aggression, or fear reactivity, or whatever, we can describe it in very succinct ways, and they say broad things. Or maybe you're a dog walker. "My dog is just too rowdy," where you can pinpoint their pain much better. So, like I say, the first paragraph or more is you proving to them that you understand their pain, and you're stroking it, making it bigger. We want them to feel that pain. Here's the thing about sales, folks. People buy based on emotion, and they justify it based on logic. And so we want to work with them in both ways. This is not some sort of evil plan to make people buy your stuff. It's just simply the reality that here is how people make buying decisions. They need to emotionally feel the challenges they're going through, emotionally feel that someone has a solution, and then see what that solution is and feel comforted by the logic behind that, right? And so when I say that you need to help them feel their pain, you need to do that because most people can't describe their pain. So let's say this guy goes into the doctor, going back to the doctor example, and he just tore a bunch of ligaments. Now in his mind, he's like, "Yeah, it hurts. I can't sleep very well." And the doctor doesn't describe his pain. The doctor's like, "Okay." And the doctor knows what it is. It's all these torn ligaments. So he's without describing the pain, says something like, "All right, cool. We've got to do massively invasive surgery. It's probably going to take 4 or 5 surgeries over the next little bit." What? No, it just kind of hurts. But if the doctor gets in there and says, "Look, here's your pain, here's what you're feeling, here's what you're going to be feeling, here's the challenge that you're running into," and he can really describe that pain, now he can prescribe something bigger. Whereas if he didn't do all that stuff, he's not able to prescribe properly. And so it's our job, it's our responsibility to help them feel their pain. Not in a manipulative way, towards our ends, but in order to persuade them to better themselves and to better their situation with their dog. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, I've got several more steps, but what I need to do is I need to take a quick break, a quick advertising break here, folks. Hang on, and I'll be right back.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle Free!
New improved LicoChaps with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try LicoChaps. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
If you've ever shared your home and heart with a charmingly naughty animal who's always up to mischief, you'll fall in love with the Klepto Kitty who stars in Talk to the Paw by Melinda Metz. Talk to the Paw is a funny, heartwarming novel about a single girl, a single guy, and MacGyver, an adorable tabby cat with a not-so-adorable habit of stealing from the neighbors. Talk to the Paw is on sale now everywhere books are sold. Visit kensingtonbooks.com for more info.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
All right, we're back. And so we are talking about how to create a money page. And I've talked about, a headline, and I've talked about the very first part. We need to start stoking and stroking and amplifying their pain so they actually feel the reality of what's going on in their life with their dog and the challenge they're having. Now, this looks different. If somebody's coming to you for aggression, you can talk about a lot of pain. If you are a groomer, trying to help somebody just get their pet clean, you don't need to talk too much about the pain. You addressing the pain on the website could be a whole lot less on your money page. And so like I say, it depends on the depth of the pain that you solve. And so if it's a deep pain, you probably need to really get in there and show them how much you feel it and show them how much you understand it and start stroking that pain like, hey, and when I say stroking the pain, I'm talking about using language about frustration, embarrassment, challenges, and that could be on all levels. Like, are you embarrassed by your dirty pet? Or are you embarrassed that your dog's trying to kill your kid's friends? Like, really stroking that pain and helping them feel it. Now, once you've done that, then the next part of your copy on your website, you need to be the knight in shining armor, where you come in and you explain to them that there is a solution and it's your unique solution. Ta-da! Of course it is. Otherwise, why would you be trying to sell them something that doesn't solve their problem? And so you are their knight in shining armor that comes along and solves this problem for them. Now, there's 2 kind of key concepts that I like to teach here with this. What you want to share with them is what and not how. So that's what and not how. So what might be in this training program, what we've devised is this program that helps the dog think about aggression in a different way and teaches them how to be calm and works with them so that long term in the future they can be calm forever. So that was what. How is like, all right, so we use this tool and and here's how we teach the dog to overcome his aggression, and here's the how. We don't want to teach the how. That's for later. Right now we need to tell them the what, that we have it, that we understand it. The how is what we have. We understand the what, and if you understand it too, we have the how, and you want to buy it from us. So you really want to get into what and not how, and you want to paint a picture of what their future looks like. I always talk to my team about helping people see into the future. That's our job. Because once they understand their true pain, like, oh my gosh, my dog really does have issues, or you're right, my dog could be way happier if he had some exercise from dog walking every day, or something to do with grooming, or whatever. Once they understand the actual pain that they're dealing with, they need like this ray of light, this hand that comes out and says, hey, I'm here to help you. And we need to paint the picture of what that looks like. And so, we start talking about what that looks like. Once you've undergone this program, imagine being able to take your dog on off-leash walks. Imagine that your dog's no longer shedding. Imagine that your dog's no longer chewing up your couch. Start talking about the benefits that come from working with you. And that's an important thing to understand, too, is that you need to be speaking about benefits, not features. Features are what goes back to the beginning where I was talking about don't put down, it's 5 sessions, your dog learns sit, down, heel, blah, blah, blah. Those are features. They need to understand that at a certain point. But what they need to understand more than anything is how their life is going to be benefited in order to want to reach out to you. They're not going to want to reach out to you to get 5 sessions. No one woke up this morning. I say this a lot, so forgive me for repetitiveness. But nobody is taking their dog on a walk and their dog is lunging at other dogs, and nobody is thinking, my goodness, if I could only get 5 dog training sessions in my life. They're not thinking that. They're thinking, my goodness, if somebody can solve this problem of my dog lunging at every bloody dog he sees. That's the solution that they're looking for. That's what they're hoping to overcome. So that's all you need to talk about. Once they understand that you have the how, then, however you sell, maybe you sell over the phone, or maybe it's in a private consult or through email or whatever, then we explain what comes in the program. But they don't need to know that necessarily at this point. Now, it doesn't mean you can't put it in. One of my money pages we do, because it makes sense because of how we have the pricing and whatever. But it's such a tiny part of what we do. Most of what we're doing is creating this emotional drive, right? So you want to paint the picture of what it looks like. Now, the last thing you need, and I'm going to add a couple more things, but the last thing that you need is strong calls to action. So you've got your headline, you've stroked their pain, you're a knight in shining armor that showed them that you've got a solution. Now you need to make it clear exactly what comes next. On almost every money page I see, it's simply a list of here's what we do. And there's no call to action. There's no what is the next part of the process. So I don't know what this is for you. It might be a phone call. And so you could say, fill out this information and we will call you right away. Well, it shouldn't be that. And I'm going to talk about this here in a second. But it needs to be a strong call to action that's clear about what they should do. And this is huge. I have had people triple their response, almost quadruple their response from simply putting in strong calls to action. And a strong call to action could be to get immediate pricing, enter your information below. Because that's one thing that they care about is pricing. And so they enter their information below, and then, of course, and this is what ours is, to get immediate, to get immediate programs and pricing, enter your information below. They enter it, and then they get, access to programs and pricing and some more sales literature and stuff like that. That's exactly what they wanted. And so we've got a very high opt-in rate. A lot of people come to that page, and they're like, yep, I want that, and they become a lead. And then, of course, we've got our process of phone calls, texts, and emails where we try to get them to come in for a what we call a discovery session. But anyways, it needs to be a strong call to action. Call now in order to reserve a free evaluation. Maybe you're doing grooming. Call now to get 10% off your first groom or 20% off your first groom or whatever. Same thing if you're a dog walker. You could do, I don't recommend a lot of discounting for dog trainers, but like companies that do recurring stuff, dog walkers, groomers, stuff like that, taking a little bit of a cut on the beginning could be a really good way to get people in. So if you're a dog walker, enter your information now to get 25% off your first package, your first walk, or to get a free walk, or whatever the case might be. Something that's strong and that they want. Do they want pricing? Do they want a discount on their grooming? Do they want a discount on their walking? Do they want a free evaluation? That's what you have to offer. So many people just say, like, here's my money page, and then they assume somebody's going to go from there to the contact page and figure it out. And people will, but people will at like triple the rate if you make it super easy for them right here, tell them exactly what they're going to get, what the next stage of the process is, and exactly what they should do and how to do it. And you make it easy, like enter your information right here, or click this button and it'll, do click to call, because a lot of people maybe are finding you on mobile or whatever. You make it super easy, beneficial, and clear. That's what a call to action is. If your money page is long, I like to put multiple calls to action. So, maybe like a little banner thing, a third of the way down, 2/3 of the way down, and then at the very end, so several calls to action, things like that. All right, so last couple things here, and these aren't steps, but these are just kind of ideas, is storytelling is huge. So storytelling, you could talk about how you created this program. You could talk about one of your clients and what it did for them. And when you do that, it creates what's called social proof, to where people hear that, they see, hey, somebody else had results with this or whatever, or their story is like my story or whatever. And so getting some storytelling in there can be really, really big. And then the last thing is you want formatting. So when I say formatting, you want to have pictures in there that are bright, that call attention to the eye. Testimonials are a great thing to put in there. Video sometimes is great to put in, like even video testimonials. So a money page can have a lot of information on it. It's called long form copy. And I like for it to be long and have a lot of information and whatnot. And then as far as formatting goes, you want like subheadlines, and you want things bolded and things italicized, and and you want things to pop and stand out, so that it's not just this long, boring copy, but things pop and stand out. So let me quickly summarize what I'm talking about here. You want a money page. If you don't have a money page, it's because you hate money. Stop hating money. because then it's hard to feed your kids. Stuff like that. Have a headline that speaks to their problem, stir the problem, become a knight in shining armor, have a strong call to action, and then possibly use stories and make sure that your formatting is such that things pop and explode off that page and make it interesting. So like I say, in doing this, when I consult with other dog trainers, this one component of fixing their money page is often enough to add tens of thousands of dollars to their bottom line. Like doing nothing else. Because so many times people are coming to the page already because they've got traffic coming to their website, and their conversion rates are low. They're a few percentage points, meaning like 100 people come and 3 people become a lead. Doing stuff like this could triple that. I've done 3 to 9, but you can make those numbers so much higher if you've got these conversion aspects on your money page. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out over at tietheDogGuide.com. You can check on what we're doing over there. And then, of course, please go listen to all of my other podcasts here on Pet Life Radio. Go to PetLifeRadio.com, click on Six Figure Dog Business. And when you're done listening to all of mine, listen to plenty of the other podcasts because there's tons of amazing stuff on this channel. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you again soon.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.